Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win in my I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting with the old well. Need 100 milli on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read Ay, ay. Look. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach. Gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot when they really more like quarter on me like a referee? Hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorty shaped like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lame with, but you a broke. Low class, no cash, certified lame. I've been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really reppin' and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell them I'm next up. Sleep on the they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't could tell us we great. Looking at like how do you figure unless you been talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look how we litty, we turned up the city, we raising the bar height. I been finessing, just look at them stressing, yeah, they been up all night. Sipping this water with somebody's daughter, she take what I taught her and build on it. Came in this game on that they ain't, in a couple years later, we still on it. Be hating on it, be waiting on it like a new season. I bet an acre on it, I put some paper on it like I'm loose leafing. Buying them assets, build me a cash net, I could fall in. Look at my last bet, ain't got a tiptoe, I'm all in. Think on the level that can't fail, and I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale, all this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell her what's really good, I be really good on the jaw jack. Send an email about the bread, I'ma hit you back with the call back. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
Welcome back. Thursday night, episode 10. Come on in. Hit that like button. Look like we got 30 people in the building so far. We got 15 likes. It's about 50%. Let's get those likes up to about 80%. How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in. I see Barbara Lee in the building. I see SD Walk. I see Corey Jackson. I see Kelvin Birch. I see James. What's going on? What is going on? Dunn Beasy, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody is doing good. Come on in, hit that like button. We're going to do, I do at least once or twice a month our free coaching episode. For those of the people that, can't, book a session with old Marky Mark. Or, you can't catch me on a live and get a chance to ask your question. Now is the time. I am about an hour early than what I normally stream on Thursday nights. I usually come on at 7, but I got something I got to do tonight, so I came on early. I didn't neglect my audience. I'm just streaming and I'm just going to get started an hour early so I can take care of my commitment, because I'm a man of my word, and I'm going to do what I do every Thursday night. Just going to do it an hour earlier. So come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys checking in from. I see Abijah. Good evening. Back at it. What's going on? Spoken, Michigan, the building. 5-star logistics maintenance has hit me over the head the past couple weeks. Wow. Maintenance with a box truck. Maintenance is going to catch up with you one day or another. So hope you are feeling better today. I'm feeling a little bit better. This wasn't a bad one. I don't know, man. I was just sick, man, like 2 months ago, man. It's the gym, man. It's the gym. People in the gym just be hawking and sneezing and sweating and not wiping the equipment down, and it just never fails, man. But I got to get the workout in. So, Darren B, greetings from the Shy. We got Chicago in the building. Ace Lux Transport, what's going on? Bill Bob, what up? Cons Logistics. We got Jamesville in the building. Wisconsin, LA. Asthma rolling. Shout out to the West Coast. We got Connecticut in the building. Shout out to William Vega for becoming an MGM. Shout out to all the MGM. Shout out to all the Mentor Gang members. Shout out to all my Mentor Gang members. 21 gun salute to all my MGMs. Shout out to y'all. Welcome William Vega to the Mentor Gang. Urban Home Stetter, what up? What's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in. Let's get this show on the road. Let's pay these bills. Real quick. All right, are you a small business owner in need of capital to take your business to the next level? Look no further than Rock Financial, your trusted partner in business financing. With Rock Financial, you can access a wide range of funding options, including business loans, lines of credit, equipment financing, and even merchant cash advances. They work with businesses of all sizes and industries, so whether you're just starting out or looking to expand, Rock Financial has a solution for you. So whether you need capital to grow your business, purchase equipment, or simply manage cash flow, Rock Financial is here to support you every step of the way. Visit their website and the link in the description below today to learn more and start your journey towards financial success. Once again, thank you to the sponsor of this episode, Rock Financial, for making this podcast possible. And to all my subscribers, remember your dreams and business aspirations are within reach with the right partner. Rock Financial, your success is their business. Come on in, guys. James gifted, what did James give? James gifted one Mark the Mentor membership. And who won it? Axel won it. Okay, congratulations to Axel. Was gifted a membership by James. Shout out to you, James, for always gifting people a MGM badge. Appreciate you. All right, so boom. This episode is going to be Free coaching. Questions, free coaching. I know I saw one question up there. So we're gonna start with that one. Hey Mark, what's up? I got a question. Do most last mile deliveries like on track pay $1.80 per stop? Do you know of other LDM carriers that I can reach out to? So on track is a cargo van courier company. So that's small parcel, final mile. When you're dealing with cargo van, small parcel, it all depends on the logistics company. Some pay per piece, some pay per stop. You may be lucky depending on what your leverage is. You may be able to get a guarantee, but it all depends. It all depends on the carrier. Not all of them pay per stop. A lot of the the office supply companies like your T Force and your Waco or whatever, they pay per piece. So $1.50, $2, $2.50 a piece. So it all depends on the company. If you got a cargo van other than On Track or Laser Ship, you can reach out to T Force, Waco, Capstone. US Pack has cargo van work. I would start with those. All right. Any more questions, guys? This is the Q&A episode. Q&A episode. You know, it's crazy. I be getting all these DMs every day. I get flooded with DMs and questions. This is the episode where you get your questions answered, you get your free coaching, all of that. All of that. What is the best recommendation for running under a new authority? It depends on what you're running. Are you looking to do OTR? Are you looking to do final mile? What are you looking to do? Now, if you're asking me what you think you should do, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Me personally, I'm going to try to do what's going to make the most money. So if I had a box truck coming into the space, 26 footer, 16 footer, I'm starting a moving company. I got to get the money. I got to get all the money so that way I can take an overabundance of money and start to do other things with it. So now if I start the moving company, I'm making an overabundance of money. And if I want to do something else later on down the line, like start a trucking company via OTR or via final mile, I can, because now I have a business that is established. And not only is it an established business, it's a business that can generate a lot of money. I'm dealing with the consumer directly. I'm seeing that capital every day, and I can take that money and build another business. And now, I got two businesses, all kind of under the same scope, but two separate businesses. So when the moving business is slow, if I'm running final mile, that's an all year round business. But with the moving business, for 6 months, you're going to make money hand over fist. So I would start a moving company, but I know a lot of people aren't. You just ain't got that in you. You got the dog in you, but you might not have the pit bull in you. You know what I'm saying? To start a moving company, to be a mover, you have to be cut a little bit different. So if you're not cut for moving, then I would try probably go curbside, final mile. Then I'd probably go big and bulky, final mile. OTR and Amazon would be like my last options, me personally. You said OTR? Best recommendation? Well, if you're new and you're OTR, every day it gets tougher for new authorities. Every day I hear new stories. I just got off the phone with Kirk about 2 hours ago. So if you're a new authority trying to run OTR, now you might want to latch on to someone who, has experience so that you can kind of get pointed in the right direction as far as brokers who are going to be willing to work with you, possibly maybe working with someone under their authority. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but it seems like every single day it gets worse for people who have new authorities, man. The pandemic and people who ran businesses in the pandemic, they really made it bad for people who are getting into the space now and who will be getting into the space for years or whatever, months to come. It is tough. I get a chance to talk to a lot of companies throughout the day. I take a lot of meetings, and some of the stories that I hear, even with the testimonial, even though if you watch the testimonial yesterday, look at the way he operated. I'm not, knocking him but that is prime example of why brokers don't want to deal with new authorities. That's why. If last night's testimonial coming firsthand, if that wasn't insight to why, then I don't know what else to tell you. So it's tough. I would really try to get with someone who's established and maybe try to lease on to them for a few months to get acquainted and get your name kind of acquainted with some of the brokers that they run with, so that people will be willing to take a chance on you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait 6 months for a lot of these companies. And to be honest with you, that's not something that I would have told you if you asked me this same question a year, 2 years, or 3 years or beyond ago. That's just the landscape of the way things are going now. It's a different ball game now. So it's tougher on new entrants. Can I share my insurance broker's info? Only if you're in Illinois. If you're in Illinois, DM me and I'll send it to you. You can only broker people that are in Illinois. So if you're in Illinois, which I think you are, then DM me and then I'll send it to you. One of them I use right now, making $3,000 a week with one driver in a 26-foot box truck. One of them I'm using right now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know. What are you talking about? What workers' comp insurance do you recommend? I have my agent looking, but right now I have expensive occupational accidental insurance. It all depends. I can't really tell you what workers' comp insurance to recommend because you're in a different state, and workers' comp is a lot of it's based on the state. Like different states have different workers' comp compliances, I guess is the right word I want to use. So I would allow your agent to shop your company and see what comes back, and just whatever's the most inexpensive for you, I would probably just go with that. Yeah, I can't really give you one specific one because what may be good or what has worked for me in the past may not work for you as far as the price. And then another thing with workers' comp is a lot of states require it, but some states don't enforce it. So unless the company that you're running through requires it. So like Amazon requires it. Like my state, Illinois, they require it, but they don't enforce it. So a lot of companies here purposely don't ask for it because they know it would limit the amount of applicants applying, because a lot of people can't afford it because it's very, very expensive here. I believe Illinois and California are the two highest states for unemployment. I mean, not for unemployment, but for workers' comp. Therefore, they really don't enforce it here. So I would just trust your broker, and whatever your broker presents back to you, I would kind of take your broker's judgment on that. Mark, please describe curbside. Curbside is final mile delivery. Final mile delivery, except you're just not going into the house. So it's not white glove. It's not threshold. It's not threshold room of choice. It's just literally curb. So you're delivering literally to the curb. If you're nice, you want to drop it in the garage. If they have an attached garage, you can, put it in the garage for them. That's pretty much that. If it's let's say a storefront, you can pull it into the dock if you want. But it's literally the curb. Curbside means just drop it at the curb for the most part. Nothing more, nothing less. Does not have to go inside of the home. Does not have to go inside the home. So it remains on the pallet. You're using your lift gate and your pallet jack, dropping it at the curb. I had wrote that I found 300 3PL using Fiverr. One of the 3PLs I used that I found on that list. I'm trying to figure out what are you asking me. One of them I use right now making $3K a week with one driving a 26-foot box. Hold on, William Vega just became a member. I'm kind of confused on what you're asking me because it's split up in parts. So what I'm gonna do, if anybody got a question and they want to come up and ask, I'm gonna drop the link too, because it's easier to have a conversation with some people than to answer questions in the chat. So I'll do both. If you got a question, you want to come up, there's the link. If you want to ask it in the chat, you can ask it in the chat. I just had an issue with my 3PL company. They're trying to cut costs and offered to sell my route to another company for cheaper rate. That company took the offer, then realized the work that they had to be done. Then they backed out last minute. They called me the next day to give me the route back for the next couple of months. Well, did you take the route at the same amount of money, or did you charge them more? If you know they're trying to oust you, did you try to get more money from them? If that was the case and that was me, I would have charged them more money. I would have charged them for money because eventually they're gonna try to get rid of you. So you might as well try to take them to the bank on this last little stretch that you got before they get rid of you. Yep. Let me see. What's 3PLs? Oh, okay. All right. Any questions, guys? This is free coaching episode. Questions. What are your questions? Man, I don't understand why all these people had to be in my DMs every day. Every day, early in the morning. Can I authorize? Can you authorize? Can you authorize what? Oh, can you activate? Can you activate your authority and run under someone else's at the same time? Yeah, I don't see where that would be an issue. If you running under their authority, you just slap their magnet on your truck and run under their authority, for whatever specific load. I don't see how that could be an issue. But I wouldn't understand why you would want to do that. If you got your own authority and you're paying to be authorized to run, freight, me personally, I would, run it under my own authority. But if you're asking because you are new and you want to take opportunities, opportunities aren't coming to you, so you want to run under someone else's authority so that you can get your truck moving, then I kind of understand that as well. How is the application process for apportion plates? I wouldn't know. I don't have apportion plates. I've never had apportion plates. So Georgia, I think is the worst. Any info on that? Yeah, I've never done apportion plates. I know it's expensive. I could tell you that for the state, but the process I wouldn't be able to tell you. If your cargo van is in your personal name, should you put it in your business name later, or is it fine being in your personal name? Well, this is a question I get asked a lot, and this is a mistake that a lot of people make. If you got a business, all right, and your business is structured, and you go buy your equipment, which is your vehicle, you want to get your vehicle under the business name, all right? If it's in your personal name and you want to get it switched later, It all depends. Is the vehicle paid for? Because if the vehicle's paid for, then what you would have to do is you'd have to sell the uh the vehicle from your personal to the business. If the business is not paid for, then you probably just want to kind of just keep it the way it is because you still got a note on it. And in order to switch it, you're going to more than likely have to refinance it and take a new loan out and then add the business um, to that lien that way. Um, but yeah, I would definitely want the vehicle to be in the company's name for the main reason you're doing commercial work, right? And you have a vehicle in your personal name. And I always like to use the most worst example ever. Purposely, I do this purposely. I don't wish anything bad to happen, but I want people to understand the importance of running a business and separating your personal from the business. You're running a commercial business. You're probably getting paid uh, commercially through your business, right? But then now you got this cargo van in your personal name. So what happens is if you got a driver and they do something, they run somebody over, they kill somebody, God forbid, but it's a great example. Now that vehicle is registered to you personally. So now instead of just a company being sued, now the registrar of that vehicle is also going to be sued. And that is whoever you are. It's under your name. So me personally, I have experience with one of my company vehicles being in an accident, and the passenger uh who was in the passenger in my company vehicle, not the driver, the passenger ended up suing my company. He ended up suing his coworker, which was my driver, and he ended up suing the other lady who was involved in the accident as well. Me personally, I wasn't involved in a lawsuit. Why? Because my truck that they were in, that truck number 4, it's registered to the business. All right. So Mark didn't have any personal connections to that accident. So even though this dude went gung ho, I'm suing everybody crazy, he couldn't sue me personally. Now, let's say if that vehicle would have been registered to me personally, then yes, because the plates, everything was in the police report. So his lawyers would have tied me personally to that lawsuit. So you want to separate your personal from your business. And I know people make this mistake all the time. They get sent off at the dealership. You know, stop being sent off. If you're going to be a business. Anything that's for the business should own it. If you're purchasing equipment, the business should be purchasing. Well, Mark, the business is new and okay, no problem. You got to personally guarantee it. So if your credit is good enough to purchase the van or a truck under your personal name, then your personal name is good enough to personally guarantee the business. What does personally guarantee mean, Mark? It means cosign. That's the business terminology for cosign. So if you can go out and buy equipment personally, then you can cosign for the business. So always buy the stuff under your business so that you can indemnify yourself from any and all liability. So yes, you need to get that switched at some point, however you need to do it, you need to do it. If it's still a loan out on it, you're probably going to have to refinance to get it switched over. If it's not a loan out on it, then you can sell it to the business for $1 and then, get that switched over that way. Is Chicago good for moving business on Thumbtack? It's definitely good for moving. I cut Thumbtack off a year ago. It just got kind of watered down through the pandemic. A lot of people buying trucks, it seemed like it was a lot of funny leads on there, and I don't set a budget for Thumbtack. I showed my Thumbtack profile maybe like a few weeks ago on a live stream, and I showed how much money I've spent over the years in thumbtack. I don't set a budget. I set mine to unlimited. So any given day, by me being set to unlimited, my company is always at the top. So I'm getting damn near anybody that's coming looking for a move. They see me at least one of the first three. So I'm spending some days $150 a day on leads, 7 days a week. But I stopped turning over so many leads, so I cut it off. Chicago is a great market for moving because it's a city with 3 million people, and there's a lot of apartment buildings and a lot of condos and just a lot of people moving in the summertime, in the spring and summer. So yes, it is good. Thumbtack, I can't really vouch for Thumbtack the way I used to vouch for it. I think if you're new coming into the space, I think even though I can't vouch for it the way I used to vouch for it, I think it still is a necessary tool for someone coming in, because you got to get the edge some type of way. You got to get your name out there. And I can say the same thing for Craigslist. When I started in 2010, Craigslist was the go-to. Why? Because there was no Thumbtack. There was none of this stuff. You had Craigslist and you had Angie's List. But back then, Angie's List was a paid service. And I didn't have the money to pay for Angie's List back in the day. So I used Craigslist, and I was able to build up a clientele. But even now, Craigslist is just oversaturated. It's sketchy. You got scams on there. You have customers that, if they could go to Thumbtack or go somewhere else, they would. The consumers that go to Craigslist are consumers that are looking for a really, really, really deep discount. Those are not the type of customers that I want to deal with at this point in my life, right? But if you're coming into the space, you got to start from somewhere. Those are the chances and the risks that you got to take, because you're going up against people, let's say like me or other people who've been in business for over a decade, that have repeat customers, and then those repeat customers are referring their friends and family. And, you're never going to get those customers. You have to build up brand new customers, people who are moving for the first time, people who are moving into the market or moving out of the market. You have to build up a new clientele base. So you gotta use what's available. So Thumbtack, it's not what it used to be, but I think it's a necessary evil if you're coming into the space or you're coming brand new into the market. What up, Cincinnati in the building? Hey, Mark, I found a nice truck. They want 45, but when I'm done paying, it would be 60,000. It's a 2018 Freightliner with 250 on the dash. You think that's a good deal? 10,000 down, no warranty. Well, 45,000 would be over my budget if I were looking to buy a truck. Me personally, I wouldn't spend no more than 40. That's me personally. 250,000 on the dash is right around my cutoff for mileage if I were in the market to buy a truck. Me personally, I don't put money down on anything, so I just don't. Now, my situation is different. All right, my situation is different, but when I did purchase my 2 new trucks that I did purchase, I didn't put money down on them. All right. So, and this was 9 years ago. I bought a new truck in 2014. I bought 2 new trucks in 2014. I didn't put money down. All right. So, if you have good credit, you're using your good credit to leverage yourself so that you don't have to put money down. You're guaranteeing the business. Now, when you're going through these funny banks and these third parties and all these funny off-brand lenders and stuff, then yeah, they're not like, so out of all my trucks, I bought 2 new. One was financed by Ally and one was financed by Wells Fargo. So I've never dealt with the Spring Hill financials and those types of, and it's not to not, anybody, but I'm just telling you what, I don't have any experience dealing with that. The way I do business, I don't put money down, because that 10, that 20, that 30, that's working capital that the business can use, that the business needs. And I'd rather pay a little bit more a month on my note and have my money in the bank working for me than giving these banks thousands and thousands of dollars to only knock off an extra $150 off the monthly payment. If you have good credit, you can always go to your bank. If you bank with an institution like a Wells Fargo or Capital One or whatever, see if they'll, give you a commercial loan. If you have a credit union, try a credit union. I wouldn't be too thirsty. And this is something I said I was going to talk about. I see a lot of people going out and taking these loans with all these funny lenders, at these ridiculous APRs, 25%, 30%. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. So that lets me know that something's not right. All right. If you got to purchase a truck with a ridiculous APR like that, then me personally, I wouldn't purchase the truck. I would start somewhere else. I would start with a cargo van and I work my way up. So now that I have history, my business has history, my credit is good, and I would go buy my truck from a place where they do business with a regular bank, or I would go to my bank and say, look, I'm looking to get this truck. I got my business account set up here. I need you guys to purchase this truck for me and I'll pay you guys back. However you need to do it. You guys need to stop getting these trucks with these funny banks and these Spring Hill Financials and these whatever these companies' names that I've never heard of that you guys be telling me. And then when I look at the deals, you're paying 30%. You're buying an $80,000 truck, but then you end up spending $130,000 on it when it's all done. You had a guy on here, his testimonies early. This guy took out a loan on an auto, whatever, a payday loan or whatever it's called. What do you call those loans where you give them your car title? You took a title loan out for $20,000 and then another thing just to get a voucher. Listen, stop doing that. It's not that serious. It is. Trust me. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's not that serious. This box truck thing, stop letting these people fool you. If you got to do all this crazy stuff, then it's not worth it. You shouldn't be taking out title loans. You shouldn't be spending 30% interest rates. It's not that serious. You're not going to get rich. The risk that you're taking doing that is not, the reward is not worth that type of risk. It's just not. All right. You have to be smarter. Stop being thirsty. Okay. Because when you do that, the only thing you're doing by doing that is you're adding to the percentage of failures. You're going to be adding into that percentage. Why? Because your cost is going to be extremely high. I'm not paying $80,000 for no box truck. I can't. If I were to reinvest into the space again right now, because I entered in a time where it was great, 26 footers were $20,000, $25,000. You could literally go on enterprise.com or Penske.com in my day and get a truck that was 4 or 5 years old with 250,000 miles on it for $25,000. You don't believe me? Go on the Wayback Machine and look yourself. Go on the Wayback Machine and look around 2014, 2015, 2013, and go on Penske and go on Enterprise on the Wayback Machine and look how much used trucks were going for. Similar to the specs today, a 4 or 5 year old truck with about 200,000 miles on it. So with me knowing that and purchasing trucks at those rates, it would be really, really hard for me to spend $90,000 or $80,000 on a box truck. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Why? Because I know the industry. I know the margins. The rates are still the same as they were years ago. See, this is where a lot of people fail to miss, and I say it in so many different ways. Everything has gone up in this industry. The insurance has gone up, wages have gone up, fuel has gone up, insurance has gone up, truck notes have gone up, rentals have gone up. Everything has gone up. Everything except the rates. If my, I'm gonna see if, because I didn't get any statements back then. Everything was ACH, and my bank got bought out, so I can't even get a lot of those statements from back in the day. I'm gonna see if I can find some old statements, some paper statements, which I don't think exist because everything was ACH. And I'm gonna show you guys that a lot of final mile contracts that I was running back then are the same rates that they are now. Like literally $750 a day, $600 a day. This is where I was getting back then. We were getting $600 a day for IKEA. Saturday and Sunday, we were getting $500 Monday through Friday. You got Bob's and Select and UST and some of these companies offering $600 now for Lowe's. We were getting this back then. So the rates are the same. What's the difference between back then and now? It was great back then. Why? Because the labor was, I was paying $10 an hour. I was paying $75 to a helper. I was paying $100 a day to the driver. So my labor costs were $175 out of that $600. Fuel was cheaper. Everything was cheaper. A person was happy to come move stuff for $100 a day back then. Why? Because, like I said the other day, minimum wage wasn't even $8. There was no city mandate or where, they didn't start that until 2018, where minimum wage for the city of Chicago was $15 or whatever it was. They didn't start that until damn near late in the 2010s. So everything has gone up, but the rates are still the same. You could say the same thing for the middle mile guys. And this is what people need to think about before they jump out the water. You don't know what to expect. I kind of know where things are headed. But if I'm telling you to be mindful of how you spend your money, then without me telling you, if you use your context clues, I'm pretty much saying it without saying it. You should be mindful of how you enter into the space as far as your initial cost is concerned. So me personally, that was the long answer. 45,000, 60,000, and based off what you told me, Natasha, on how you wanted to operate, me personally, I know you're not going to get out there and get to it because you told me what you want to do. And to have that type of note and that type of payment, then you need to be gone. Long gone. You from Philly, so you won't be seeing Kensington Avenue. You won't be seeing North Philly, West Philly, $1 million worth of game. Like, you won't be seeing none of that. Kensington Avenue will be like a figment of your imagination. You won't be seeing it. You would need to be on the road. And you already stated that you have a job and things of that nature. So, that might be a little bit of a high initial cost payment for you to get in with that. Based off what you told me, Natasha, I think cargo van would be the better option for you. And that's just my advice. For the Staples account that you deliver paper to businesses like schools and hospitals, do you have to go to Staples itself? Nope. All that stuff is going to be at a 3PL. You don't have to go to Staples. Whatever the 3PL houses the account in your market is where you would pick up from every morning. I started giving my business cards to local companies in my area, and my phone stays ringing. That's what's up, man. That is what's up. Do I have any info about the moving business in the A? Not per se. I know in peak times, you should be good, like April through the end of September, you should be good. But as far as the competition and the volume of moves and things like that, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people still moving into Atlanta. So, Atlanta should be good. They have a nice size metropolitan area. So, can you sell your vehicle to your business for $1? Yeah, you can sell your vehicle to, if you own it and you got the title, you can sell it for whatever. The reason I say sell it for $1 is so the taxes. You don't pay that much on the county tax. Well, I know here you got to pay county 1% county tax, state tax, city tax, all that stuff. So the reason I say sell it for $1, because really you just want to transfer the title over, but you got to do a bill of sale, and for the purpose of the bill of sale, just do it for $1. Go down to the DMV and just get that switched over. Is this a good rate? Enterprise rental, 1 day use, 200 miles limit, 111.84. 1 week, 105.59, 28, 1,000 miles, 1 month. Nope, because they putting a cap on the miles. Nope, they putting a cap on the miles. So 200 miles, 111 a day for 200 miles. What's the additional if you go over? So if they're capping the miles, then the additional miles are going to be ridiculous. Whenever they put a limit on the miles, those additional miles are usually ridiculous. So if it's a cap, I would say no. You don't want to do it, especially if you run an OTR. Good evening, Mr. Mark. Rodian, Amazon, Flexstar, base rates extremely low here in Houston. Are there any other apps that possibly pay more? Yeah, those apps, it's just like the 3PLs. They're going to pay different in different markets. I don't know why, Texas pays low, especially Houston. That's the 4th largest city in the country. The only other reason why I could think the rates they pay lower in Houston, why things are lower in Houston, and don't take offense to this, is because you guys are right by the border, and you guys have a lot of southern people from the southern border who are willing to work at a cheaper wage than people up north in the larger cities up north. So, which could be changing because Texas keeps busing immigrants up here, and eventually they're going to get work permits, so that could change the landscape of the way things go up here. But no, it just seems like Texas for whatever. But then another thing is Texas, y'all don't have to pay income tax. So because y'all don't have to pay income tax, right? Y'all don't have to pay federal tax. Some of y'all don't have to pay. One of those taxes y'all don't have to pay. So that's another reason y'all wages are lower. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get taxed. You know what I'm saying? Is it federal or state? Y'all don't pay state taxes, right? So that's another reason y'all wages are low, because the cost of living is lower because you guys don't get taxed state level. So right, so you don't pay state taxes. So yeah, your rates are across the board are going to always be lower than another larger city like LA, Chicago, New York, because our taxes up here, state level, are 10.25% on the state level. We still got federal. I live in the city, so Chicago, so I got to pay county taxes too. So I got state, federal, city, county. So our state taxes are 10.25%. So no, I'm sorry, not state. I said city. Our city taxes. I'm getting mixed up. Our city taxes are 10.25%. State taxes, I think we're at like 7%. City is 10.25. Let me see. Speaking of lawsuits, so if I am personal guarantor to the loans only, but the truck in the business name, can I still get sued? Um, Here's the thing. Usually when a person gets into an accident, they go after who the vehicle is registered to. So when they get the plates and they check the registrar, they usually go after who the vehicle is registered to. The only way they're going to know you personally guaranteed it is if they dig to find the finance company, to find the finance company and ask the finance company, is there a co-signer on this loan? Which who's going to do that? So 9 times out of 10, no, it's normally to whoever the vehicle is registered to. Does USPAC do background checks? Everybody does background checks. It's 2023. There's no such thing as not doing a background. Like everybody does background checks. Cure work in the winter had you plotting today. If you do business in Illinois, do you need an ICC? You definitely need an Illinois Commerce Commission license. So, yep, you're gonna do business in Illinois, you gotta have an ICC number. So, this is one of those states like Texas that is regulated. Why am I freezing? Yeah, I am freezing. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm freezing. Yep. All right, so Illinois is one of those states that is regulated like Texas. So the Illinois Commerce Commission has to get their piece of the pie too. So you would have to get you an ICC number as well. Every Thursday. I don't know what is up with Thursday that my camera. It only does it on Thursday. What up? What up? What up? Mark, do you think Mark, do you think it pay to invest in a brand new truck if you have interest in purchasing an overpriced vehicle like the guy from last night? Let me explain something to you. Based on what I've seen for the past year and a half of being on YouTube, talking to people and things of that nature, I have yet to meet someone that is willing to work their behind off to be able to afford and pay for a new truck. To pay for a new truck at the cost of these trucks today, you're going to be working. You got people who got used trucks who don't want to work, to can't even cover the cost of their used trucks. So now you're talking about $100,000, right? $100,000+. So you looking at a $3,000 a month plus note. You're looking at another $3,000 plus on insurance because you're paying insurance on a brand new truck, right? So let's say you're looking at $6,000 right there. You're gonna be working. I mean, if you're willing to go out on the road for weeks and weeks at a time, then go ahead. Go ahead. Because you're gonna have to cover the cost of that truck. Goes back to what I say all the time. This is a very low margin business. So if you come in with high initial cost, that's more money out of your pocket. So if I were to reinvest into the business now, I wouldn't buy a new truck. Why? Because I mean, think about it. Look at the market. If you're going to run OTR, look at the rates. Look at the rates. And now you're talking about $125,000 truck. Plus the insurance on a brand new truck. Goes back to what I said 10 minutes ago. Everything has gone up. So if everything has gone up, but the rates, no matter what lane you're in, unless you're doing moving, right? Because you can scale in that industry, right? Because you're in control. The rates for OTR pre-pandemic levels. The rates for final mile pre-pandemic levels. it's pre-pandemic levels to when I'm telling you what I was getting in 2012 and 2013. It's the same thing. It's 2023. So 10 years. They're still paying $600 a route on average. You get a brand new box truck back then, 26 foot for $50,000, $60,000. Get a used box truck back then for $25,000. Now a used box truck 50, 60, a new 125. But the rates are still the same. So to me, no. I would get a used truck. I would take my mechanic, same script I give you all the time. I would take a mechanic, really spend time with that truck for the day, do a really, really deep diagnostics, keep my finger crossed the whole time my mechanic is there, looking at that truck. I'm praying to God. I'm down on my knees. I'm praying. I'm citing scriptures from the Bible. I'm finding the most holiest person in my family. I'm calling them on the phone. I'm putting the phone on speakerphone. I'm telling them to say a prayer. I'm putting my hand on the truck and saying, Lord, cover this truck with the blood of Jesus. I'm doing all of that. Because whenever you buy a used vehicle, you're taking a risk. So, but me personally, I would rather take that risk. You see what I'm saying? I think that's more profitable risk in the long run than me going out and spending $125,000 on a brand new truck, financing it. So now I'm at about $3,400 a month, $3,200, whatever it is. It's going to be over $3,000 a month. And then I'm going to be spending another $3,000 a month on insurance. I have yet to talk to someone that purchased a brand new truck, because I know people that have brand new trucks, that I've spoken to, and all of their insurance is over $3,000 a month. They're about around the $3,000, $32,000, $31,000, $3,000. All their notes are over $3,000. So you're over $6,000 a month. No, I'm going to buy a used truck all day, and I'm gonna take some holy oil. I'm gonna put the holy oil on the truck. My mechanic's there. I'm praying. I'm calling the pastor. I'm telling him to say a prayer on speakerphone. Asking God to cover this truck with the blood of Jesus, and that's the route I'm going. Shout out to Patrick Dunn for upping it to level 2 MGM. Shout out to you. What's the max I would spend on a cargo van? That's another hard question, because, man, I remember when Transit's brand new T350s with 33,000, high roof extended length 350. It depends. If I was looking to get, let's say, a 1500, let's say Transit extended length, probably about somewhere between 15 to 18,000. 250. If I can find one as low as 25, no more than 32,000 maybe. And that to me is kind of high. But I understand the market and the playing field. So there's nothing I would be able to do. But I would really, 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 really shop. I wouldn't just jump out the window. If I was going for a 3,500, 350, I would try to find something around the $40,000 to $45,000 range. Yeah. If you're gonna invest in an overpriced used vehicle that's over $80,000, you just assume to invest in a brand new vehicle that's $100,000. That's your opinion, but me, I wouldn't buy a used vehicle for $80,000. I hear you, but I wouldn't buy a used truck for $80,000. I know better. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't do it. I still have trucks that are 05s and 06s. There's nothing wrong with them. I've taken care of them over the years. So the trucks that I still have, if I were to sell them, whoever would buy them would get 2 good trucks. They would get 2 trucks that are damn near 20 years old that would probably run better than that guy's truck last night. So it's all really the luck of the draw, who had the vehicles, how they maintained them prior, to you. You buying a used vehicle is just like buying a used car. It's the luck of the draw, but you have to do your due diligence. He bought the truck like a lot of people do. They go online, they shop online, they buy a truck in another state. They don't go out and look at it. They don't pay a company to go out and diagnose it and send them back the paperwork. So if you're just buying from looking at it online, then that's what happens. So unfortunately for him last night, he's in the same boat that a lot of other people. They might have not had as bad as of luck that he did, but I've met and talked to so many people that have purchased trucks that same way, going on the websites, never going out to look at them. Remember the guy Marcus who was on a few months ago, and he was like, I'm like, man, you need to go out to Denver or wherever it was and look at that truck. He was like, you think so? I'm like, I would. And he booked a flight and he went. Now, luckily for him, he came and hit the link and talked to me before he did. I wasn't on YouTube when the gentleman last night did that, because I would have told him the same thing. Look, you need to go out there and look at that truck, or you need to hire a company out in that market to go do a full, thorough diagnostic of that truck inside and out and send you the report. You know what I'm saying? So you buy a truck blind, that's what happens. I wouldn't spend $80,000 on no truck. I'm a $40,000 holler type guy. I know what to do. I'm going to take a mechanic. I'm going to pay the mechanic for the day to go with me. And I'm not worried about it because I have a truck repair facility that I've been working with over 10 years. All right. So I'm not really going to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't run over the road. So if my truck breaks down, it's local. It ain't nothing but a $125 tow. Why? Because I've been working with the same tow company for over 10 years. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not spending $80,000 on no used truck. I'm not spending $100,000 on no new truck. I'm not doing it. I don't suggest anybody do it, because unless you're planning to live in that truck for a long time, then with the rates the way they are, your overhead is going to be really, really, really high, and it's going to be hard for you to profit from that initial high cost overhead that you come in with buying a new truck. I just wouldn't do it. But some people will tell you differently. But if you're good in math and you sit your butt down and you start working those numbers, then you'll see what I'm telling you. Can you break down moving rates in Chicago? So the average moving rate here right now for a move, if you're running with 3 guys, about $100 an hour a man. So 3 guys is going to cost the customer about $300 an hour, about $50 to $75 each additional man per hour. Your truck fee is going to start somewhere around $150 and up from there. And your material cost is going to be about on a 20% markup. There are additional fees like long carry fees. So if the truck is parked more than 75 feet away from the door, then you may get assessed with a long carry fee. If, let's say you're moving someone and the dock in a high rise, let's say the truck is, let's say more than 75 feet, where the truck is parked is more than 75 feet from where the freight elevator is, you may get assessed with a long carry fee. There's all type of other little fees that, can be added to run up the bill. But yeah, the main thing is the labor costs. On average right now, it's about $100 an hour per man. Truck fees start at about $150 and up. Markup for materials is about 20%. Just got a roadie today for $50 for 13 miles. That's what's up. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that probably this weekend. I just haven't had time to shoot the video. I'm gonna do a video on some apps to be on the lookout for in the next couple months. Good evening, Mark. Would it be smart to start in the business with a straight truck or a cargo van right now? I live in New York. Oh man, you in New York? Cargo van. I mean, it's going I mean, just maneuvering a truck in New York is difficult. I think with New York being a city with 9 million people, there's a lot of opportunity for growth with small parcel. You know, people are ordering stuff. I mean, you got 9 million people. So there should never be a shortage of work for you in the small parcel lane. Now, with a city with that many people, I don't know what the competition. I would assume the competition would be fierce, but I know that the work is there. All right. I would definitely do messenger, like small parcel cargo van in New York, because I know the work is there for it. I wouldn't even be thinking about fooling around with no straight trucks in New York. Rody offered me 15 to 59 to drive. Are there high paying one man cargo van? Yeah, I don't know what you consider high paying. The only thing you're gonna get high paying in any lane is if you're dealing directly with the consumer. So unless you're moving, I'm gonna say it again, some form of moving or some form of direct delivery, then you're gonna be dealing with a middleman, whether it be OTR or final mile. So one man for a cargo van, office supply stuff, or medical. To me, office supply stuff probably pays more unless you're dealing with medical supplies. Other than that, you got the gig apps, which you're coming up on gig app season. I'm not gonna call it peak season no more. I'm gonna call it gig app season, because judging from last year, and it's gonna be a repeat this year, the final mile and the gig app people, those are going to be the people who are going to make the money. It's not going to be the middle mile truckers. So the middle mile truckers that are holding on for dear life, hodling, that are waiting for this imaginary peak season like they were waiting last year, keep waiting. While you're waiting, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen while you're waiting with your 26-foot box truck. There's going to be a guy in a cargo van, or there's going to be a guy in this personal vehicle who's going to be checking a bag. He's going to be checking a bag. I show you guys the proof. There's guys out here running cargo van routes, 15-mile routes, making $400 and $500, delivering T-shirts and baseball caps. This is where the market has shifted to for peak season. All right? So while you're in your 26-foot box truck, listen to all these guys telling you, these content creators telling you, get ready for peak season rates and all this goofball stuff. Is going to be a guy driving past you in his Prius, right, with about 50 packages in his back seat for a route that's only going to take him two hours, and he's going to get paid about $450. And he's never going to leave his local market. I swear to God. And I showed proof. So, I think if you download Roadie, and I'm going to give you the strategy this weekend. I just haven't had time to shoot the video. I'm not going to give it now because I want to shoot the video and put the video out. If you download Roadie, Curie, GoShare, download Spark. I'm going to tell you why you download Spark. I need you to download Spark pretty much for a month and a week. But primary focus is going to be on one particular 4 to 5 day stretch. I'm going to give you the strategy for it. So Roadie, Curry, GoShare, Spark, and for good measure, Amazon Flex. All right, Amazon Flex. But Spark and Roadie And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. And I saw it last year. I paid attention. And last year, Spark and Rhodey, that's where the money was at. Now, after the holiday season, you know, it is what it is. My focus on this video is for you to run it up for holiday season, peak season. This is where the money gonna be at. So just keep on the lookout. I'm gonna give you the strategy. Appreciate you. Trapped in the box said, just buy a level 1 truck from Penske so you can get a refund if it doesn't run. Right. So if you want to go the route of last night, like Sean did, you know, buy you a level 1. And if it continues to break down, you know, spend 6 months fighting and keep your fingers crossed and hope they gave your money back. They you know, that situation with him, as far as them giving his money back, I think, you know, I don't think they would do that with everybody. You know, I don't know. He got lucky, man. You know, God was on his side. But I wouldn't take that risk. I just wouldn't take that risk. You know, $80,000, man, is a lot. I think from the numbers when we crunched them, I think he was at a 30% interest rate. I think he was going to spend like $125 or something on that truck if he would have went through the whole process and it was all said and done. So whoever asked me earlier, and you talking about buying a new truck, he bought an $82,000 truck. And he was going to spend $120 something on it. Like, to me, a new truck, nah. The only way I'm buying a new truck, this is how if I were to buy a new truck. If I were to buy a new truck, I would buy it for the sole purpose of just renting it or leasing it. I would allow the truck to pay for itself. I would lease it or rent it out. And whoever would rent it, I would, you know, let them. See, I'm thinking smart. Like, I don't think like how I thought when I was 29, 30, when I was younger and I was, you know, just had young legs and all this. I didn't mind starting a business that I could physically build from doing the labor myself and then build it up and then remove myself and then continue to build it. At this point in my life, I know that whatever I start, I'm not going to, you know, if it's a physical business, I know I'm not going to get out there and do what I was able to do back then. So I think smart, okay, I go buy a new truck. Let's say I go buy a 2024 Freightliner. I spent $115,000, $120,000, whatever, 100 some thousand. I'm going to rent it out, right? I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to rent it out so that the truck pays for itself. I make a little bit a month. The truck is paying for itself. I'm making a little bit, throwing it to the kitty with the rest of the money that's coming in. Whoever's renting it, I'm allowing them to deal with the stress and the strife of low boards and paying me. He's stressed to pay me. I'm not stressed to pay the truck note. He's stressing to pay me. And then when he can't pay anymore, it's going to be another sucker lined up to rent it. I'm not going to never be short of a sucker. Right? So I'm not really stressing in the downtime it has in between times. You know, I just pay the note. But 9 times out of 10, somebody will rent it. And while they're renting it, they're running it and they're stressing. They're calling brokers. They're dealing with the low boards. They're dealing with the rates. They're, you know, oh, I got to pay Mark for the rental. They're stressing. I ain't stressing. Truck is doing what it's supposed to be doing, bringing in revenue. Here go the keys. You go figure all that hard stuff out. Let me know when it's time for to bring it back for the PM. Oh, well, you know what? You're not going to be here. Just let me know. Next week, I need you to take it. You're going to be in California. You got a load going to California. I need you to take it to this place. You know, here's the PO number. You know what I'm saying? Just give them this number. I already got an account set up. Just go in there, let them do what they're going to do, and let me know when it's done. Yeah, I don't. You know, that if I were to buy a new truck, then that's what I would do. I would just rent it out. Yeah, that way the truck is paying for itself. So, what's the best way to pay yourself as an owner operator? A check, direct deposit, direct deposit, a check, however you want to do it. Hello, how many miles do a box truck go in a motor? It all depends, man. You know, you got some box trucks that tap out at 200 and some. You got some that tap out at 3. You got some that tap out at 4. You got some that's still running at 5. It all depends on who the owner is and how they handle it. You know what I'm saying? I got trucks right now that I still own that are touching about 300,000 miles. You know, so it all depends. I don't like to put a number. Some people say some of these trucks can go 1,000,000 miles. Some people say, oh, they can go 750, a 500,000 miles. I say they're gonna go as far as you take care of them and allow them to go. If you take care of your truck is gonna take care of you. Is there a life expectancy on them? Yes, of course, there is a life expectancy on them. But you know what? You can some people's trucks don't make it to that life expectancy, right? Because they don't take care of it. So instead of the life expectancy, I like to tell people, take care of your truck is going to take care of you. So that number, it varies, man. It varies. I know people who got cars who never got oil changes. You know what I'm saying? And the engine seized. I know, especially chicks. I know a lot of chicks who go out and buy cars and never go get the oil change. And guess what happens? Man, Mark, my car making a noise. Well, what it sound like? Sound like something knocking. Where is it coming from? Under the hood? When, you know what the first question? When the last time you had an oil change? I ain't never had an oil change. Oh, well, there you have it. So now that's a Honda, right? It's expected to go forever. So they say, but guess what? This new Honda only went 50, 60,000 miles. So it all depends on how you take care of it. Got my box truck on Facebook Marketplace, seller finance, 18,000 paid it. Off in 6 months, run like a beast. People are afraid to go shake hands and create a deal for themselves. Yeah, so it's like I'm saying, like you can still get a good box truck, a used box trucks for under 40,000. That's what I'm saying. Some people don't want to take that risk. And I talk to a lot of people. Y'all seen people come up on the channel. Like, man, I seen box trucks up there by your way, Mark. But you know, them trucks got rust under it. Like, what? So what? Like, I don't understand why people want to spend. Like, just because you spend a lot of money doesn't mean the truck is good. And we saw proof of that yesterday. I know somebody who follows the channel said they went and bought an 02 earlier this year and said that truck been running fine. Says the best decision they made. And they said until they came across my channel, they was on the brink of going and getting the newer late model truck. And then when they started listening to me and how I was making sense and about, you know, the margins and the profit margins and how it being low and stuff like that, and how to go buy a used truck, made them feel more comfortable in buying a used truck. Now, I didn't know the man was going to go out and go buy an 02. This man went back and bought an 02, but still to this day, he bought this early this year, like January, February. It might have been December. It might have been late last year. It was a while ago. But still to this day, man, no problems. Pay cash for it, no problems. You know, so there's good used trucks out there. So this whole myth of, oh, I'm going to buy a newer truck because it's not going to bring me any problems, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And last night was prime example. You know what I'm saying? It's all on the truck. It's all on how the truck was maintained and who took care of the truck. I see more people coming to the comments from time to time that do go out and buy these $20,000, $18,000, $15,000 trucks from independent sellers, and they have nothing but holy praises. But the people who go to Penske, right, and they spend a lot of money, right, they have all the complaints. Well, I wonder why. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit why. For the same reason why I still got the first few trucks that I bought. One, I haven't sold them off because they hold value to me. But two, those trucks, when I first got my first truck, you would have thought that first truck that I bought for $7,900, you would have swore, the way I treated that truck, I swear you would have thought it was a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Listen to me. I treated that truck better than people treat their Rolls-Royce Phantoms. I got that truck washed more than I should have had it washed. I was taking that truck to get PM because I just wanted to pull up with the truck. I wanted people to see that I owned a truck. I took care of that truck. I still take care of that truck. And that truck doesn't even go nowhere. Why? Because I value it. I worked hard for it. I know where I came from. I know what it took to get that truck. I'm not going to neglect it. I cherish it. It's not like a rental truck where you got a multitude of people renting it and beating it up. Even though that truck was a budget truck that I bought it from a truck dealer, that truck dealer gave it the TLC that it needed to be able to sell to someone like me. And then when I got my hands on it, I treated it with TLC. My mother came to the office. Every single truck I purchased, she came up there with the holy oil. How you think I know about the holy oil? You think I just made that up to be funny? No, my mama came up there. She laid hands on every single truck I bought. She took the holy oil. She put a cross on every single truck. I swear to God, I only had issues with one truck. The point that I'm trying to make is, normally, when you buy a truck, and this is not all the time, so don't go out, well, my Mark said, normally when you buy a truck from a person, and you want a person like me, or another person who may be like me, they cherish what they have. Why? Because it probably was hard to get it, and if like that's their only truck, they're going to do everything and anything to continue to maintain it because that's how they put food on the table. A person who owns a truck, right? And that truck is how they put food on the table, they're going to finesse that truck a little bit better than a truck that is a throwaway. So you got to look at it like this. The truck you own, that's like your bottom chick, right? That's the chick. She's going to be there for you. She's going to be there for you. The rental truck, like when you buy it straight from the rental company, that's a pass around. That's a pass around. She for the streets. Now you might you might luck up on one that you might be able to make your bottom chick. But then some of them, they wide as all outdoors. Now some of that may go over some people's heads. You know what I'm saying? It may go over some people's heads. That analogy may go over some people's heads. But the point that I'm trying to make in layman's terms is a person who owns a truck, they're going to take care of their truck a little bit better than something that's a pass around. Everybody getting a turn with it. You dig what I'm saying? Does that make a little bit of sense? All right. Hopefully it do. Some people might get turned off by that, but it is what it is. What up, Kirk? I see you in the building. Problem with Facebook Marketplace is most people want straight cash and won't do finance options. And that's the thing when you buying from a person. Like, Me personally, if I was to sell something on Facebook, which I have, I think one of my trucks I sold during the pandemic, yeah, it was because I posted on Facebook Marketplace and I posted on OfferUp. It was all cash, but at that time period, people were coming with cash. So as I was posting on Facebook and I was posting on OfferUp, people were coming with cash because people had cash. I'm not finna give a person a key. I'm not a bank, so I don't have, you know, what I need or whatever to hold up, finance to somebody and hope they pay me and I can retrieve the truck and all that. No, I need cash. Give me my money. I'm gonna give you this title, and I don't want to see you no more. It's as is. Give me my money. I'm gonna give you the title. I don't want to see you no more. All right. It's not gonna be this because I don't have to go where I ain't got it, and then they stop answering the phone, and then I'm beating myself up like, man, I knew I shouldn't have did this, that. Give me my money, and I'm gonna give you the title, and I don't want to see you no more. So, yeah, when you buying something from an individual, normally that's how it goes. So, uh, 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 what's your favorite truck? Well, my favorite truck is going to be a little bit different from everyone else's, just because these are the trucks that I'm used to. I'm used to GMCs, all right? 6500, 7500s, because this is how I was able to build up my fleet some years ago. Budget wasn't really buying Freightliners and things like that back then. They were GMC, Chevy, 3500, C6500, C7500. So the truck place where I bought my trucks from, this is what they would have available. So these are the trucks that I would buy. I'm not a big fan of the Caterpillar engine, but some of those trucks back then did have uh the Caterpillars. Um, but for me, I was lucky. I only had an issue with one truck, and the truck that I had an issue with was a C6500. And when I bought it, I had an electrical issue. This is the only major issue I've ever had with a truck that I bought, and it turned out to just be the junction box. So it was a junction box issue. I got it fixed. It continued to have electrical issues here and there, but it was always the junction box. Other than that, I've always purchased 3500s, 6500s, and 7500s. So those are my favorite trucks because that's what I'm used to. Sean says, don't start with a new truck, but years down the line with a proven system of consistent profits, then I don't see a problem with upgrading to fleet, new trucks, instead of paying the tax man that money. So here's the thing with new trucks, man. I would buy a new truck for a moving company. I wouldn't think twice of spending $125,000 for a brand new 26-footer for a moving company. Why? Because I know this truck can do long distance moves, right? And two, when I put this truck over the road to do long distance move, it's paying for itself. Like, listen, to move someone to California, that's 20 grand. Easy, without me even going to look at it. That's a minimum of $20,000 before I even have to go look at it. So who cares if I'm spending $3,000 a month? Don't let me get something coming back. So I turned that round trip to a $30,000 trip, easy. Gotta move somebody down to Florida. No problem. 12 grand. 13 grand. Gotta go to Texas. 10 grand. Arizona, no problem. 14 grand. Connecticut, no problem. 10 grand. You got a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house move up. That's about a good 13-hour move. It's about 4 grand. That's just one day. So who cares if you're paying $3,000 a month for that truck? That truck is doing what he's going to. Well, boom, you add the new truck to the fleet. This is going to be the long distance truck. This is the truck that's running people cross country. You're doing all the long distance move. No problem. That truck going to work from April to the end of the September. That truck running. If that truck do 3 or 4 long distance moves a month, that truck do 1 long distance move a month. But when you're paying $3,000 and something dollars for the truck note, $3,000 something dollars for the insurance, and you looking at loads for $1.50 a mile, some goofball stuff like that, it's a big difference. Or if you're running final mile at $600, $700 a day, it's a big difference. But when you can go move somebody for 10 hours at $300 an hour, plus another $250, $300 truck fee, plus material costs, now you're looking at somewhere between $3,500 and $4,000, and you started this job at 8 o'clock and you finished it at 6 p.m., and a customer is swiping a credit card for $3,500, that's a different ballgame. And you got to do this 4 more times this week on the local level. But it's a guy simultaneously that's outrunning his box truck. He's running 2,000 miles to make that $3,500. You just did it in 10 miles. The customer was 5 miles from where the truck is parked, your office, and then they moved 5 miles from where you moved them from. And then you had to drive 10 miles back to the yard. You did a round trip, damn near 20, 30 miles. And you made $3,500 in 10 hours. And this guy is running across like the dude yesterday, smacking himself, looking for cheap gas, trying to figure out where he's going to sleep in the truck, just paid $13 to shower at a Love's. You know, he only got 2 choices of food he want to eat, Arby's or Hardee's at the truck stop. He bought a little salad from the gas station, from the little frozen, the little one of them salads you pick from the out the refrigerator, and he eating in the salad. It's a ladybug at the bottom of it. And out of that $3,500 that he made running them 2,000 miles, he's probably not even going to take home $500 of that, because he went out and bought a new truck. So a lot of that is going to his insurance, his fuel, his truck note, his logs, his eating, his showers. So the guy who bought the new truck, who has a moving company, he made the $3,500 on a Monday in 10 hours. He got a 4-bedroom to do on Tuesday. Wednesday, he got another 3-bedroom. Thursday, he got to load up because he moving somebody to Atlanta. That's $8,000 right there. That's on the deal for $8,000. So they loading up Thursday. They're going to drive down there Friday. They're going to unload it Saturday. They're going to come back Sunday. So now that's $8,000 for 4 days. You can just say $2,000 a day. And then Monday, back to local, 3-bedroom, $2,800. Next day, 3-bedroom. The day after that, 2-bedrooms. That's a quick $2,000, $2,200. Now, that same guy who bought that truck that's running OTR, And them 2 weeks he may make, or that 1 week and a half, he may make 3,000, 3,500. But how much of that he gonna keep? And it ain't a knock. It's just I'm just keeping it funky. I'm giving you the comparisons on, buying a new truck. Why I would, if I were to buy a new truck, it would only be to either run moving with it. That would be my moving truck for my long distance stuff. It would do local stuff too, but that would be the truck that I would put over the road. Or if I was buying a truck to start a truck rental business where I'm renting it, and I'm renting it. Okay, it's a lot of people need trucks. Okay, I got a solution. I'm a boom. Okay, boom. Here, you need a truck. Okay, give me 600 a week. Blah 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 mile. You pay me. It's simple for me. Pay me. That's how simple it is. Key, pay me. In 7 days, pay me. In 7 more days, pay me. In 7 more days, pay me. And in between those 7 days, that individual is looking at load boards, trying to find loads, frustrated, figuring out where he's going to sleep and figuring out where he's going to eat, and this girl calling him, yapping in his ear, and it's cold, and they not ready. The load ain't ready. They gotta wait. Whatever. So yep. So don't start with a new truck, but use. Okay, I read that one. When interviewing with a 3PL, what types of questions to ask and what things can be negotiated? Can you please elaborate? I've been calling around 3PLs and there's a few. Well, Natasha, you got to get you a truck. You got to get you a truck, man. You negotiating, you got to get you a truck. When interviewing with 3PLs, what type of questions to ask? You don't usually, well, the only question I ever asked when I was, how much money? I just need to know what the money is. And then if I don't agree with the money, then I tell them what I need. And if they say, well, it's too much, then I tell them what I can provide. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't provide or you don't have leverage, then you got to kind of take what they want. The questions you should be asking, how much money and how many days a week is this contract? I mean, those pretty much the only 2 questions they pretty much going to be asking you, which normally they don't ask you. If you got a truck, you got the credentials, you got the authority, it's pretty much go time. But the only questions that you probably really need to know is how much the account pays and how many days a week does it run and what days does the settlement go through. What time is load out? What time does the truck need to be here? What do we do with the garbage? Can we bring the returns back the next day or do they have to come back the same day? Stuff like that. You wouldn't know that stuff unless you've been in business, those types of things. But at the interview, pretty much, how much, how many days. But you need to get you a truck, man. I keep telling you, the 3PL is going to be ready when you are. They ready when you are. If there's an opportunity available and you got everything you need ready to roll for the onboarding process to start, then they're going to roll. You got to get you a truck, though. Sean said, definitely app season. I've been telling y'all. Y'all keep listening to them people that's saying, get ready for peak season with your box truck. You're going to be just like them people last year that was waiting. Steady pushing peak season back. November 1st. Yeah. Then they pushed it back to November 15th. Then they pushed it back to Black Friday. Then they pushed it to Cyber Monday. Then they said peak season started December 1st. Then they said it started December 15th. Then they said, peak season started Christmas Eve. Yeah, get ready for peak season, y'all. It started December 24th. And peak season rates. The whole time they was saying that, I'm steady watching YouTube. People talking about how the rates is trash and how the box truck, they getting out the box truck, turned in my enterprise truck, turned in my rider truck. So I'm just trying to figure out if it was peak season, why was so many people turning in their trucks? So The money going to be made on the gig side, and it's going to be made on the small parcel final mile side. So yeah, get ready. Don't be like the people last year. I told them what was going to happen. They didn't believe. And then went the last minute when they tried to go and sign up. You know what? They couldn't sign up because an overabundance of people had signed up, and they had more suppliers than they didn't want to have too many suppliers that they weren't able to give people enough work to make a substantial amount of money, so they cut it off and then they started a waiting list. Amazon did it. A lot of things, Roadie did it. A lot of apps did it, right? So wait till the last minute. Sign up now. Everything I said last year was going to happen. It happened. All right? The people that are new to the channel that wasn't around last year, ask some of these people that was around last year. Ask some of these people was around. Everything Mark said was going to happen, happened. I said the opposite of what everybody else said. And what I said all came into fruition. It continues to come into fruition because I know what I'm talking about. Why? Because I know the business. I've been doing this since 2010. Well, Mark, it's Christmas time. Somebody said, well, people ain't going to buy their kids' toys. Listen, if you run middle mile, you've been delivering peak season freight this whole year. You've been delivering it little at a time in little gibbles. Well, man, since I've been delivering, where is it all at, Mark? Go to your local Walmart and drive behind the Walmart. And then what? You're going to see storage containers back there. And that's where all the peak season freight is. It's been here. They've been ordering it little at a time all throughout the year and storing it. If you were going to see a peak season, you would be seeing it right now. This is your peak season. You would be like this. You would be busy. You wouldn't be 100 people in here watching me because you'd be busy talking about how the rates are so sky high because what you would see during a normal peak season, the stuff would need to be in the store by November 1st, which means it would need to be in transition prior to November 1st, which would be right about now. So, yeah. If you want to make money during peak season, it's going to be in the small parcel and in the gig apps. The stuff is going to be fulfilled straight from the stores. That's why you see those containers in the back of the stores because all the fulfillment is going to come. It's going to come from 3PLs, but it's also going to come from the retailers, from the individual stores. Whatever store is closest to the consumer is where the items are going to be fulfilled from. It's going to be dispatched to a gig app person who's in the area, because it's a competition. Like I say, for all the newcomers, I'll repeat it. It's a competition. Where am I going to buy this Xbox from or whatever? Well, should I buy it from Target or should I buy it from Walmart? Well, Walmart said I can have it in an hour or two. Target said I can have it by 5 later or tomorrow. Well, I'm going to buy it from Walmart. Why? Because they're going to fulfill it straight from the nearest Walmart to me. A Spark guy is going to go up, pull in the lane. A Walmart guy is going to come out, tell him to pop his trunk. They're going to put the Xbox in his trunk, and the guy's going to take it 4 blocks down because the lazy person didn't want to go to the store and pick it up themselves. But that's how it's going to get there in an hour, and that's going to determine why the customer bought it from Walmart instead of Target, because they were able to fulfill it from the closest store to them. And that's why all those storage containers are back there, because they're fulfilling from the store and they don't have enough room in the back room to house what they would normally backstock, plus all the online sales that they're going to be selling, because they don't know, okay, we're going to sell all this stuff online, but you may have more people buying from this area. You may have more people buying from that area. So all the stores are going to be stocked. And then whoever's closest, if I buy something, the Walmart is closer to that customer who's buying this particular item, it's going to get dispatched to come from that Walmart, and so on and so forth. This person over here buys something, and that Walmart over there is closer. It's going to get dispatched to come from that Walmart, and that's how they're going to get the stuff to them quick. And that's why the gig people are going to make the money. along with the cargo van people, along with the small parcel final mile people. The stuff is already where it needs to be, guys. Shout out to Jonathan for that super chat. Appreciate you. Gotta give you your flowers, bro. Glad I found your video. Started in my car, averaged around 2K, moved onto a van, was nervous, but glad I did. I'm glad you listened. I tell a lot of people to take baby steps, but for some reason, people, they want to jump into the deep end. Even though I tell people I started from my own personal vehicle and grew it to a fleet of 15, maybe, I don't understand why that maybe is unbelievable to people, or maybe it's not unbelievable. Maybe it's just people just want to start at the top, but starting at the top is rough. I'd rather start at the bottom and grow, and grow, starting at the top. I see more people be successful starting at the bottom, and as their experience level grows, as they learn the business, as their money grows, they grow. The business grows. To me, it's just easier that way. To me, it's harder to fail that way. So, it is what it is. But I'm glad you listened. I'm glad you started in your car, and you moved up. And if you want to go from the van and continue to grow up, I'm sure you will. I see Kirk in the building. What up? Kevin said he's on the waiting list for Curry. I told you. You got to sign up. Like y'all need to be signing up now. Right now. I said this last year. I said, don't wait till the last minute. Sure enough, November, December came, Mark, they won't let me on that app. Well, it wasn't closed when I told you to sign up in October and September. I told you what was going to happen. I don't understand why people don't, and I'm not talking about you. I don't understand why people just don't listen. How many things do I got to tell y'all that constantly comes true? Trust me, when I'm wrong, trust me, somebody gonna call me out on it. I haven't been wrong yet. Trust me, there are people out there that are waiting for me to be wrong. They're waiting for me to be wrong. But I haven't been wrong. So if you got a guy who's consecutively forecasted things, hasn't missed, just listen to me. I have no vested interest in seeing anybody fail. None whatsoever. So if I'm up here telling you this stuff for free so that you can win, I don't have that. I need you to win. I want you to win so that you can keep coming back and telling me, man, you were right again. That's how I get my payment. And this is how I shit on the guys who hate on me. The other content creators who hate on me. This is how I shit on them. I shit on them by continue to give you guys all the free, valuable information based on my experience, based on my education, so that you can continue to win, right? So that I can continue to make people mad, right? That I'm giving this information for free, because then what this does is it kind of stops all the fake guru stuff that's going on. People can't sell people on hopes and dreams anymore, because I'm telling people what to do to win. So before 3 years ago, when there was just a bunch of people telling people a bunch of bullshit, and there was a bunch of people coming into the space and they didn't know right from wrong because they were trying to figure the shit out themselves, right? But you got a bunch of people up here that had just started their business. They didn't know shit. It was hard to kind of know that a person didn't really know shit because the people didn't know shit. But now you got people that really know shit, and you got people that's learning shit, and the shit that they learning and they saying it's not lining up with the people who saying the shit that know what they talking about. So I'm on the side that I know what I'm talking about. I've been on here for 1.5 years. I haven't missed yet. Just listen to me. I'm telling you where it's going to be. You're not going to see a peak season if you have a box truck. I know it's hard to believe for the new people who haven't been following the channel, but if you go back and look at my content last year, I said it last year, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen this year. If you want to make money, it's going to be on the final mile small parcel side, and it's going to be on the gig app side, and you're going to make a lot of money. Even in your personal car, I'm looking at routes last year that were $500 for 2 hours of work in your car, delivering small things. If you have a cargo van, I'm going to tell you, you know what? I'm going to say that for the video. I'm not going to give you that. So I'm going to give you the strategy on how to make money this peak season. I'm going to give you the strategy, and it's not going to be with the box truck. It's going to be with a cargo van, and it's going to be with your personal vehicle. It's going to be with a cargo van. It's going to be with your personal vehicle. Remember where you heard it from first. Stop falling for the okie doke. Stop falling for the okie doke. Spark not putting a real one on, man. See, they back on that waiting list. See, they already started. They probably started the waiting list early because the people who knew from last year, they own it early this year. So sign up for these apps. Sign up for these apps. Like, don't wait. Start signing up for them. Sign up for the apps because they're going to start this waiting list. Even if you don't run, go through the onboarding process so that when it starts, you're in and you can go. I'm going to drop the video this weekend. I just got to shoot it. I'm going to give you the strategy. And I'm going to tell you what to look for. I'm going to tell you specific days, peak days, and for specific apps. I'm going to tell you the retailers for the specific apps that are going to be exploited. And I'm going to tell you the exact items and how, if you have a certain vehicle, how you're going to be able to maximize where other people aren't going to be able to. I'm gonna drop that video this weekend. I gotta get it so people can get ready. I gotta take the time tomorrow and I gotta shoot that video so I can put it out either Saturday or Sunday. Curry had you on the wait list for 8 months and counting, but you in now though, right? Rates are below market. The rates are low out there because y'all don't pay taxes, man. Y'all don't pay state taxes. Y'all don't pay taxes, man. State taxes. Current events, if you're talking about I don't want to say the word because I heard YouTube is, the algorithm is set for that war. So I'm not going to say it, but the latest war, the outbreak, it may affect some container shipping. It may affect some container shipping. I was actually reading on that this morning. So there may be some container supply chain disruption as far as container shipping because of the current war, the latest war that broke out. No problem. Are older model box trucks out of the picture? No. It all depends on maybe who you're running for. Some companies have a cap on the year on certain older model trucks. You know, some companies may not want a truck that's over 15 years old. Some states, I think California has some type of cap on certain year trucks. So you got to check which is, I think California is the only state that's capping the year, depending on, I don't know what the year is. I don't know if you can't have something older than 2012 or whatever it is if you're in California. And then some companies, like for instance, GoShare, they won't allow a truck on their platform that's older than 15 years. You know, so it all depends on the company or the state. But if they don't have a cap, then you're good to go, you know, so. There's a lot of box trucks, 26 foot, 24 foot, that with a little work can make just as much money, if not more, than an over expensive newer model or older trucks out of the picture now. No, I said now, I got 05s and 06s still. Nothing's wrong with them. Listen, somebody in the chat earlier just went and bought an older box truck. I got a guy who watches the channel, went and bought an 02 and is doing perfectly fine. There was a guy on the channel last night that bought a 2018 and he barely could run it. literally. So, it's all the luck of the draw. Yeah, I think a person would probably be better off. I know this is something I'm probably going to repeat till I'm blue in the face as long as I got a channel, because you got new people coming in. Me personally, because I've been in the business for a long time and I know the margins. Not only do I know the margins, I know the ups and the downs that comes with the business. So take the ups and the downs out the equation, just talk about the margins. The margins are small. I don't hear no content creators talking about the margins. Why? Because they haven't been doing this long enough to really understand what the margins are, to understand ups and downs. This is the first down that they've really seen, because a lot of these guys came in during the pandemic and they think that that was normal, and that wasn't normal. We'll never see that again. Never, ever. You'll never see that again. Never. You will never see it. Not in this lifetime, you won't. You will never see that again. Just like we won't see another housing market correction of 2008. That was a once in a lifetime thing. Will the market adjust? Yeah. But it won't be like how it was in 2008. We'll never get 2 and 3 flats for $10,000 and $20,000 again. That time came and it went. The people who had cash on hand at that time, those are the people that are wealthy in real estate today. Those are the people who bought for properties for $20,000, $10,000, $20,000, put $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in them. All in, they under $100,000, and they turn around selling those properties for $500,000 today. 12 and 13 years later. You won't see that no more. You're not going to see what we saw during the pandemic for trucking again. You're not going to see that. Right? So when you talk about normalcy, right, in the trucking market, the average trucker, right, profit margin is about 2 to 6%. About 2 to 6% on average. Right? I've been lucky because I'm smart and I know how to do things and cut costs and do things on my own and stuff. I've been able to operate on a career level at 20%, which is really, really, really high. But why? Because I was smart. I didn't go out and buy expensive trucks, and I bought really inexpensive trucks and I took care of them. And of course, this was a different time period. Trucks were way a lot cheaper then, but I understood that the margins were very low. Why? Because I did the math prior to investing. I knew what my labor costs were. I knew what fuel costs were. I had my estimates on my insurance. Excuse me. I got a warehouse. I got an office staff that has to get, they don't get paid directly they get paid indirectly from the work that's being done out in the field, but I have to make sure I can cover them. I got stuff that comes along with it. I got garbage containers. I got an 8-yarder for recycle, an 8-yarder for trash, an 8-yarder for a 2-yarder for trash. I got to pay hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to get the snow removed. Hundreds of dollars to get the grass cut. And there's a bunch of other things I got to pay. The rent. So my margins, I knew what my margins were. I knew I couldn't go out and buy an expensive truck. When I bought a new truck, I could afford to buy a new truck. Why? Because I already had a fleet of trucks running, right? And the reason why I bought a new truck is because I had something on the line that warranted me going out and purchasing a new truck. I had an account to do final mile for long distance final mile, not long distance, but further downstate, right? So I needed a truck to go downstate a couple times a week, and I would prefer to send a new truck, right? But Select was paying me to cover the cost of what that truck, and guess what? New trucks back then weren't that much. My note on that truck, my first new truck, was $666 a month. On a 5 or 6 year loan, I don't remember. This was 2014. I can't remember. It was through Ally. So yeah, you're absolutely positively right. I think a lot of people are seeing that now, But you have a lot of people that are in fear, because they want to run OTR. So they're in fear of buying a truck, right? That it'll break down. They feel like newer is better. But watching last night, newer isn't always better. Newer isn't always better. If you're running OTR, I don't care if you got a newer truck, I don't care if you got an older truck. One thing is for sure, though. I can promise you one thing. Truck is going to break down. It's going to break down. There's no doubt about it. It's not if it's going to break down, it's when it's going to break down. So it's going to break down. I don't care if it's old or new. It's going to break down. Why? Because you're running it. It's a workhorse. You're running it. It's like a slave. You're going into hot markets. You're going into cold markets. You're running over the road. You're beating that thing to shit. It's going to break down. Now, hopefully it breaks down maybe where you're at a truck stop, or maybe not in the middle of the night when you're on one of them back roads and it's pitch black and your cell phone service is kind of janky. You don't want that to happen. God forbid it's 1, 2 in the morning, you're on one of those back roads and it's pitch black and you ain't even got no cell phone service. But guess what? It's possible. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there run OTR that go down them back roads, some of them back highways, and they be in and out of service. What are you going to do? Ain't shit you can do. You're going to have to sit there and flag somebody down, or hopefully eventually you get service. Lock the doors. Pray to God. That's what you're getting into. It's going to break down, though. So, yeah, but you're right. I would, me all day, me coming in, let's say if I was coming in right now, yeah, $40,000 is my budget. I'm going to go find the best $40,000 or cheaper $40,000 or below truck I can personally find, and I'm going to go run it up. I'm going to take that $40,000 or cheaper truck, and I'm going to make that truck work for me. I'm going to treat that $40,000 or cheaper truck like it is a 2024 Rolls-Royce Phantom, not just the basic Rolls-Royce Phantom. I'm going to treat it like it's the Black Badge Edition. I'm going to treat that $40,000 2010 or 2009, whatever it is, I'm going to treat it like it's a 2024 Rolls-Royce Black Badge Edition. All right? That $40,000 truck, I'm going to pretend, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to finesse it, and I'm going to drive it, and I'm going to pretend like I am driving a $650,000 car, and I'm going to take care of it like that. Why? Because I know that truck is going to take care of me, and I'm not going to mistreat it. I'm not going to misuse it. I'm not going to abuse it. And that's just that. Could you speak more about your lottery delivery account? What was the pay structure, vehicle use, skill? Vans. What was the pay structure? It was state, so it got paid once a quarter. And obviously I had to float that. It was not a count that if I was to do it again, I wouldn't, especially in today's times, because you're dealing with lottery. This is Chicago. They're going to liquor stores. They're going to gas stations. They're going to corner stores. They're going to a lot of these sketchy places. And, it was sketchy then. It's even more sketchier now. And that's what it is. So, basically where lottery tickets are sold, I don't know, maybe your market is different. If you're in a big market, Chicago, New York, LA, obviously people who play lottery, people play lottery everywhere, but more people play lottery in more poverty-stricken areas, right? So there's a safety concern there. Once a quarter, state level. It's a van account. All you need is a van. And the scale all depends on your market. Obviously, the bigger market you in, the more lottery tickets are sold. So, how much money can you make doing this full time? Doing what full time? Cargo van, box truck, 5 mile, big and bulky, curbside, moving. OTR. You gotta be more specific, and then I can kind of give you a range. Ing said, "Boy, it ain't nothing like a praying mama." Man, I'm trying to told you. Listen, so shout out to everybody out there that got a praying mama. Ain't nothing like a praying mama. When mama come, listen, when mama used to come up to the yard with that oil, it was funny because, my employees would be there. She'd come in. By this time, she was retired. She just didn't have nothing to do. My mom always keep an Escalade. So whatever the newest Escalade, that's what she got. She pull up there, see that Escalade, pull into the lot. She'll come in the office, that bottle of holy oil. She'll bless the office. Then she'll come back into my office. She said, come here. She'll put that oil and she'll do that across my forehead. I just be embarrassed. And then she'll go out to the trucks, and then each truck she'll just. So, by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying? I've had an illustrious career. It might have been to, just my savvy business and acumen, or me just being a shrewd businessman, or it could have been to having a praying mama, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to moms. I wouldn't be here without the OG. So I know I talk a lot about my moms, but my mentor is my mother. Business is not her thing. Education is her thing. But the reason I think why I'm so good in business is because of a lot of the character that she built in me growing up, and I think ultimately a lot of that I kind of put into business. So that my mother is my mentor because she's never told me nothing wrong. Everything she's told me, what I'm saying, has always been right. And one of the main things she told me when I was a kid was always follow my first mind. And usually when I second guess myself is normally when I make bad decisions. But normally when I follow my first mind, it always leads me down the right path. So let me see. I love the Chevy Express cargo van. I bought a Chevy Express cargo van 2500. That was a great van. I bought a brand new 2015 Chevy Express cargo van. The only thing I hated about that cargo van is because they had just came out with the Transit, and I went and looked at the Transit at that time. I actually bought that van for Dynamics. I just wanted a van. I really didn't need one. I just wanted one, and man, at that time, I was just, we was making so much money. I just went and bought it. But I was looking at the Ford T350. It was brand new one. It was $33,000. It was brand new, $33,000 for the 350 back then. And then I had already had a plug at Chevy. So I called my guy Chevy, and his name is Rami. I said, man, y'all got an extended length van? He's like, yeah, I got a 2500 all white. It was $28,000. So he had already had my info. I'm like, man, I think I said, give me a 2%. No, give me at whatever the minimum was. I think it was 6% for commercial. I said, you give me at the minimum for commercial, then we'll come pick it up. Of course, he got me there. Obviously, no money down, was $28,000. And that was a good van. It was a good van. It ran really, really well. I ended up just trading it in after about, I had it for about maybe a year and a half. And I ended up trading it in because we had went through a stale moment where I just didn't have, once the work that I originally got the van for went away, I had a hard time finding work for that van. And it would just sit most of the time. I would have that van that would be like the company van. We'd send it up to CDS up in Arlington Heights when we needed to buy supplies for moving. I just send the van up there to go get all the supplies. It had just become a company van. at that point, for those of you guys that know Ron, the trucker that lives on the yard in his truck, I put him on the phone at one time. I would let him, take the van to run his little personal errand so he didn't have to take a semi truck because he lived in a semi truck. So the moment I had a chance to get out of it, I just ended up trading that van. I traded out of that van for a brand new pickup. But for the most part, that van, man, that van was great. It ran great. It sounded great. That 6.0 engine. Yeah, that 2500. Not the GM. I like the Chevy Express. I had the Chevy Express, but that 2500 extended length, that's a monster, man. That's a good van. I just wish they made it in a high roof. Let me see more questions. Which company is better, Ryder or Penske? I've never dealt with Ryder. I've took a few meetings with them before in the past, back in the day when I was renting trucks. They were just always expensive to me and just always extra. Like, man, like I go in to rent a truck, they want to sit down, have you come in the office and just put this presentation and all this shit together. Listen, man, I need a truck. What's the rates? Like, I ain't got time for all that. Penske would just tell you the rates. Enterprise would just tell you rates. Ryder want to make everything all extra and shit. So I've never dealt with Ryder, so I would have to say Penske for me. Now, if you're talking about renting, now if you're talking about buying and how they maintain, I wouldn't know. Renting, I'm gonna go with Penske. People would spend $70K on Mercedes Sprinter in a band to start the business unless you go OTR. The only way I'm spending $70K on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is if I'm like a carpenter or a plumber or something like that, where I'm gonna spend that type of money where I know I'm gonna be using that van every single day because I'm a carpenter or I'm a plumber, so I'm gonna get the back built out with the shelves and all that stuff. And I want to be comfortable because I know I'm making the money. That van, that's like my office. I would spend $70K for a Sprinter in that case because I'm building it out and I'm in it every day. So I'm pulling materials out the back. It's my office. I could sit back there and eat lunch, if I'm on whatever. But if I were to get a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter for cargo purposes, then no, I wouldn't want to spend that much. I wouldn't want to spend that much. If I were going OTR with the Mercedes-Benz, then in a van, probably. I would probably, and I know it sounds crazy, but if I were doing like what Axel does in a van, I would probably be willing to spend that for the van than I would the box truck. I probably would be willing to spend that for the van than the box truck. Hey, Moose Lodge, I might have a live stream. I want you to come on a panel for Sunday. So do me a favor, Moose Lodge. If you got Instagram, DM me so I can tell you what we're gonna be talking about. Me and Kirk, we want you to come on this. I know you said you'll come on. So this Sunday we may be planning I'm gonna call the show Freight Crossfire. Or I might just call it Freight Crossfire. I think I'm gonna change the name to Freight Crossfire. So I think we might do one this Sunday. So DM me, Moose Lodge, because I want you to sit on that panel for this Sunday. You said you would wish you were built for moving, but you got a bum ankle. Yeah, moving ain't for everybody, man. It's a lot of money, but it's not for everybody. Damn, I'm way behind. Hey, Mark, just an odd question. Do you think a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van lasts for 10 years? Yeah. My one of my contractors got a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. And that thing is way over 10 years old. That's probably one of the first ones. It's all rusted and stuff on the side. And my commercial landlord, I think he just traded his in, so he don't have one. But I know his was got to be at least 10 years, yeah. But my contractor, his is way over 10 years old. I see Kirk in here taking care of business, booking consultations in my chat. Shout out to Kirk. Shout out to Kirk out there on the road. I think he'll be home this weekend. I'm applying to work about putting logo on my van. Mention that I can't do any other business. In Houston, company that I'm applying to work for, talking about putting logo on my van and mention that I can't do any other business. Well, I'm going to tell you this. What company is that? 2, are you running under their authority? If you're running under your authority, it's your van. So if they're going to put their logo on your van, are you charging them to put their logo on your van? Because if they're putting their logo on your van, then that's free advertising. So unless they're going to pay you for that advertising, then no. The only way they can dictate what I can and can't do is if it becomes a conflict of interest. And if it becomes a conflict of interest, that means they have to pay me to put that logo on my van. You're paying me for advertising, then I can understand why you don't want me doing other stuff, because then it becomes a conflict of interest. But if I'm not running under their authority, they don't have any vested interest other than what they're providing me to move for them, which I'm a contractor for. No, it's your van. You can do what you want. You know, you want to move dead bodies for the morgue in the van if you want to. That's up to you. It's your van. The only way they can kind of dictate to you is if they're paying you for advertising their brand on the van, and then I can understand why they wouldn't want something else, to be moved in the van, because it becomes a conflict of interest. But if that's not the case, then no. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jonathan for that super chat. I think I read it earlier. I know I'm behind. I just passed Walmart, already seen 46 trailers in back. Kirk said history is best qualified when it's documented. It's crazy to hear Mark talk about it. He dead on with them trailers. Been telling people about them trailers for the longest. And see, this is what I'm saying, man. Like, man, the real ones though, man. I ain't gonna say it. The real ones though, man. That money's still up, man. Ain't nobody hit me up for the debate. I heard one person mention it, but they ain't hit me up. The debate is still up, man. The money's still up. And we're not debating. I want to debate trucking industry. I want to debate. We're going to have a mediator, and the mediator is going to ask questions, and may the best person win. All right. And this can determine who's who and what's what. So that way people know, when they go out and they buy these courses and all these mentorships and things like that, they can't get mad. You know what I'm saying? They can't get mad. So that I still want to debate. I'm still waiting on the offer's still up. It's been real quiet though. I don't know. And me and Kirk going to end up having a debate in a minute. Nobody want to step up. Mark, who are the top 3 small parcel package companies? I'm starting with my minivan. All right, now if you asking me in general, or you asking me for you as far as your van. Now, if you asking me in general, the top 3 small parcel companies are gonna be 1 UPS, 2 FedEx, and then 3 XPO. Now, if you asking me for in that order too, in that order. Now, if you asking me for your cargo van, I would go depending on your market, and this isn't any particular order. I would say T-Force, Watco, and T-Force, Watco, and Capstone. I would say T-Force, Watco, and Capstone. And the reason I say T-Force because you're in a minivan, so I don't know if Capstone and Watco have any minivan opportunities, but T-Force does, and US Pack does as well. But US Pack doesn't really pay that well. What do I recommend in Nashville, San Antonio, and Atlanta with a box truck, cargo van? Cargo van, I would do small parcel. Box truck, I would see if I could find something curbside. If you can find something curbside, R&L, T-Force, Capstone, I would try to find something curbside. Michael says he's waiting on registration for his ProMaster. Zupchuck said for Curry, Monday through Wednesday is booming. 4 years of trucking, get van to build my business, and then go for box truck or buy semi. I think that's a good plan. I would definitely start small and work my way up, build my way up. Andrew Green said there's no Walmart in NYC. I didn't know there weren't Walmarts out in New York. That's crazy. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. A lot of people are scared for breakdown. Yeah, I know I'm wheel behind. Let me see. I did short solar panel run. A lot of them Sherwin-Williams paint. Yeah, you got to be talking about Curie if you're talking about solar panels and Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams, a lot of opportunity on Curie for a lot of opportunity on for Sherwin-Williams on Curie. This one dude says, as long as you maintain your truck, it won't break down. He said he hasn't had a breakdown in 7 years. Well, some people get lucky. I can't attest for not having a breakdown in 7 years, but I think that is a long stretch, so. But, things happen, starters go out, things go out. Pumps go out. Tie rods go out. Things happen. Let me see. Zupcheck said he just want to buy something. I like the Dodge Sprinters, Mercedes-Benz Turbo. Man, if I was to buy a van right now, I would just go. Man, you know what? I'm scared to even say Ford, man. Sean Fain really messing the things up. I think they just shut down a Kentucky truck plant for Ford, and that's where all the F series is made. So that one plant generates $25 billion a year in revenue. So the UAW, that's another thing I want to talk about for guys that's out there that got, the vans. You got the Chevy, the Fords, or the Dodges, the Ram, the ProMasters. That lag is coming up, so it's those parts is going to be short. The more of these facilities that they shut down and go on strike, the parts, man. So just pray to God that if you got one of those makes, and you don't have any breakdowns anytime soon, because man, getting parts may be rough. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. I would never touch a ProMaster. I like the Ford Transit. I've heard of Carolina Logistics, but it's not in my market. I think that's a southeastern. That's like a regional logistics company. I heard of them though. Mika says, "What's the best Sprinter van?" To me, I would go with a Ford. I would go with the Ford Transit. And I would go with the Ford Transit. If you bought one used right now, I'll go with a Ford Transit and keep my fingers crossed that it don't break down. Keep your fingers crossed for any commercial van that's American made. As long as they on strike, it don't seem like this strike is going to end. It just seems like it's going to get worse. This president of the UAW, he ain't nothing to play with. So eventually parts are going to be hard to source. Curry just sent me a route from Mendota, Illinois to Stella, North Carolina on Tuesday. 1K miles. Bidding started at 1,900. Oh, listen. And what that's a van route. What who is it for? What are you picking up? 1,000 miles in a van, paying 1,900, and that's the starting bid in a van. It's not bad. Not bad. Yep. So man, sign up for those apps, guys. I got a video coming out. Oh, you said it's a box truck? Can't recall the commodity. Okay, well, we'll see if the bidding started at 1,900. Let's see what it go up to. I thought it was for a van. All right, so boom, I got a video coming out this weekend for peak season for vans and gear gaps and strategy for that. Moose Lodge hit me up in the DM. I think I'm gonna bring you up on the panel this Sunday, so Kurt can terrorize you. What we got coming up Monday? We may do a drop that link next week too. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. With the UAW on strike, I think the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is about to get more notoriety to consumers. Probably so. Who makes the parts for Mercedes? Is Daimler still making that? Is Daimler still making Mercedes? Or no? Probably not. Hold on. Was Daimler making Mercedes? Weren't they making parts for the Sprinter at some point? Or no? Maybe I'm getting confused with something else. I thought Daimler was making parts for the Sprinter at one point. Who was Daimler making parts for? Oh, no. Yeah, they were former. So no, Daimler doesn't make it no more. So yeah, so Mercedes they cool. So yeah, Mercedes Sprinter sales may pick up because of the UAW strike. Mercedes Sprinter sales may pick up because I don't know, to be honest with you, the way things are looking with them shutting down the Kentucky plant, and that's where all the trucks are made. That's where Ford makes all their trucks. So that whole F series, that's Ford's biggest item. 42 years and running. I think it's 42 years if I'm not mistaken. JD Power and Associate. That's the number. The F series, the F-150 is the number one vehicle, like 42 years of running. It's like ridiculous. And for those that know, the Kentucky plant is where Ford manufactures all the F-series vehicles. That is their number one revenue generating plant at $25 billion a year. Just that one facility. So that was a major blow to Ford. It seems like Sean Fain is trying to bankrupt the big three. I know GM and Chrysler, they filed for bankruptcy. Ford never filed for bankruptcy. So I don't know what's going on. I was watching the news, like the Detroit news. I was looking at a lot of those guys on the picket line. You know, they're getting $500 a week strike pay, but you know, a lot of them have had to resort to getting jobs that one guy said he's working at Taco Bell. I don't even know if you could do that. If you get strike pay, can you go work another job? But the one guy said he had to go work at Taco Bell. So, you know, Sean Fain, you know, that guy is, you know, some would look at him as a hero. You know, he's really fighting to get these guys, but then some would look at him as a terrorist. You know, so I don't know. I've never seen a union and, you know, an industry as big as the auto industry and the big three so far apart. Like they're so far apart, and this is like week 3, and to shut down the Kentucky plant, that's not a good sign. So I don't know, man. Yep. So all right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. I just wanted to do my annual, Q&A. Hope everybody got their questions answered. Daimler owns Freightliner, and they have a Sprinter clone labeled as a Freightliner. Okay. I know Daimler was a part of Mercedes for a while, but they parted ways. All right, yeah. So guys, I had to meet my commitment of doing my Q&A for the month. So I'm gonna drop a video this weekend. Probably be back Sunday for a Freight Crossfire episode. Moose Lodge, hit me up. Anybody want to jump on that episode? Hit me up. I appreciate everybody. I will see you in a few days. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.